Good afternoon, everybody, authorities, professors, students and graduates. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the University of Barcelona, to this magnificent building and this assembly hall. Our university was founded in 1450, so it's an ancient university. Although this building was inaugurated only 152 years ago. It's an iconic historic building that was designed by an architect called Elias Rogent, and it stands as a major symbol of the Catalan capital. The University of Barcelona is currently made up of a community of over 70,000 people, including students, faculty and administrative and services staff. Its structure comprises 17 faculties that are organized among 6 campuses. And also we have the Barcelona Science Park and 9 affiliated centers. This hall, the Paranymph, is the most emblematic space of the historic building. It was conceived as the heart of the university. In fact, it is located in the central body of this building, and it stands for the highest level of university knowledge, which is, for example, the awarding of the degrees, is what we are doing today. It is here where the most solemn events take place, such the course openings, the investitures of honorary doctors, or the sessions of the University Senate. And also here, there are many other cultural events, usually open to all citizens. The IBEI is an inter-university institute created in 2004 as a joint effort of all 5 public universities in the Barcelona metropolitan area, and also the Barcelona Center for International Affairs, with the aim to promote postgraduate training and research in international relations, politics, and development to advance the understanding of global challenges to governance in our world. Now, into the third decade already, IBEI has become consolidated and has achieved a high level of recognition as an academic and research center at both European and international level. So before beginning, let me present to you the people who are at the table. On the right, Virginia Luzón, she's Director for Communication of the UAB, la Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. On my left, Aida Soler Auró. She is Director for Students and Alumni of the UPF, la Universitat Pompeu Fabra. On the right, Dr. Laura Chaqués. She is the Director of the IBEI, you know she, and Dr. Susan Baker. She is Research Professor at the School of Social Sciences of Cardiff University. And myself, I am Conxita Amat, Director for Teaching Policy at the University of Barcelona. So it's a pleasure now to open this academics graduation ceremony for the master's degree in international relations and the Erasmus Mundus Masters in Public Policy. And now, Dr. Virginia Luzón, Director for Communication of the UAB, I will address a few words to all of you.
Vice rectors, director, professor, graduates, families, friends. Today, we gather not just to make the successful completion of a rigorous academic journey, but to celebrate you. And you are going to have a lot of speeches today. And we are going to celebrate your dedication, your courage, and your transformative impact on the world of public policy. When you began this program, you entered a melting pot of ideas, cultures, and brilliant minds. Over this month, you have engaged in critical dialogue and explored complex policy and environments across Europe and beyond. You've endured long hours, faced difficult questions, and embraced experiences that tested your resilience, and you have succeeded. Through your hard work, you've enhanced your research skills, deepened on your understandings of global governances, and built networks that span continents. You've gained more than a degree. You've developed a capacity to influence on real-world outcomes and to build bridges between institutions, between disciplines, and between people. As you return to your home countries or embark new chapters, remember these lessons that you have learned in your masters. Curiosity lasts beyond graduation. Keep asking questions and digging deeper. Collaboration is your power. The connections you forge here can fuel important change. Adaptability is a key. Carry that flexibility in your future roles. You are now part of a distinguished community of alumni, equipped to shape policy, lead reforms, and guide institutions. So, as you move forward, hold fast to your vision. Dare to challenge conventions. Collaborate across borders and sectors. Lead with integrity and empathy. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Celebrate today, but never stop striving. Thank you, and remember, this is just the beginning of your remarkable journey.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luzon. And now, Dr. Aida Soler Auró, Vice-Rector for Students and Alumni of the UPF, will say a few words to all of us.
Bona tarda, benvinguts a tots. Welcome you all, good afternoon. So on a day that belongs to you, your accomplishments, your resilience, your dedication, I want to express the profound pride we feel at Pompeu Fabra University, as well as our partner institutions, the University of Barcelona, the Autonomous University of Barcelona, and the others that make up the IBEI community. Today, we celebrate your academic success, but also the shared journey that brought you here from over 60 different countries, across continents and cultures, and with a vibrant representation from nations such as the United States, the UK, Spain, Italy, China, Germany, Canada, and France. This is an extraordinary diversity and is one of the IBEI's greatest strengths. It turns classrooms into global forums where perspectives are challenged, ideas are tested, and lasting friendships are very well created. You have earned your degree at IBEI, an institution that has built a reputation across Europe and beyond for its academic excellence in international relations, global development, public policy, and security. The high job placement rates, around 88%, are not just statistics. They reflect the value of what you have learned here and the trust that institutions, governments, NGOs, and companies place in the IBEI graduates. Since its foundation in 2004, as a joint initiative of five major universities and CIDOC, IBEI, or IBEI, has grown into a leading center for postgraduate education and international research. Its official recognition in 2024 as a CERCA Research Center by the Generalitat de Catalunya marks a major milestone, acknowledging not only IBEI's academic excellence, but also its growing contribution to scientific advancement and also its public impact. This distinction strengthens IBEI roles within the Catalan and international research ecosystems and reflects its deep commitment to knowledge that shapes a better world. I also want to take a moment to thank you, everyone who made this day possible. I think that it's valuable to mention faculty members, all the administrative staff, program coordinators, but also a special mention to the families and the loved ones who support you from the beginning of this journey near that started and it goes very far away. So I think that it's very important to mention the families and what surrounds all of them because they support you very, very deep, from very deep end. To you, the graduates, as you turn the pages to the next chapter, that's also very relevant, you take with you not just a degree, but also a community. The relationships you have built across cultures, disciplines, and ideologies will last far beyond today. You are now part of this community, you are now alumni network, and by extension, a global UPF community. As you go on to shape public policies, negotiate peace, drive sustainable development, and rethink global cooperation, remember the values that you observe here: academic integrity, critical thinking, respect for diversity, and a commitment to the public good. So I want to congratulate you all for what you have achieved. Remember that this is your community and also IBEI, UPF, and to some extent Barcelona will always be your home. So moltes gràcies and good luck.
Thank you very much, Dr. Soler. And now is the turn of Laura Chaques. She's the director of the IBEI and will say also some words.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Dear graduates, families, friends, IBEI staff, IBEI faculty, representatives of the universities in Barcelona, la Universitat Autònoma, la Universitat de Barcelona, and la Universitat Pompeu Fabra. It's for me a great pleasure and a profound honor to welcome you here to this graduation ceremony of the master programs of the Institut Barcelona d'Estudis Internacionals, and especially in this wonderful room of the Paranymph of the University of Barcelona that for more than 5 centuries have been one of the centers of knowledge in Europe. And today we are celebrating. A milestone, but also a journey that our graduates have taken with curiosity, with a lot of ambition, and a journey that you have taken at the heart of Barcelona, but always with your eyes and with your minds open to the world. As you know, completing a master program is not only about coursework, it's not only about credits Of course, that's very important, but it's also about getting and advancing your knowledge to make hard questions, acknowledge to make critical assumptions, and also to search for understanding amidst complexity. And as you know, we are not shortage of complexity in the world right now. One of the characteristics of our societies is increasing complexity, increasing global challenges with democratic backsliding, with global warming, with increasing economic inequalities, increasing geopolitical conflicts, and of course the changes that comes with new technologies. These are challenges that are here to stay, but also these are the type of challenges that call for the knowledge, call for the principles, call for the tools that you have learned during this academic year. And I know that you did a really good job. Let me tell you that for the last months, several professors approached me to highlight, to tell me how impressed they were not only by your academic excellence, but especially by your willingness to participate in class discussions, to participate in thoughtful debates, and also your openness to engage with new theories, with new ways of understanding. And for me, that's extremely important in terms of excellence in higher education. This is key. This is a key factor that explains excellence in what we do. Because excellence in higher education is not only about individual brilliance, it's especially about our capacity to learn with each other and to learn from each other. And without this willingness to cooperate, without this willingness to interact and learn from each other, we will not be able to respond to these big challenges that we are facing today. But now, today, you are also going into a new chapter, a new adventure, a new episode in your life. Maybe you will be part of a business, an international organization, government, an NGO. But whatever you do, you carry with you your knowledge, but also a responsibility. A responsibility to act with integrity, responsibility to lead with humility, but also responsibility to keep engaged in these debates about global affairs, but also to keep engaged in these small actions, everyday actions that contribute that much to make our societies more just, more sustainable, and also more humane. I know that you already have done a lot and take this responsibility during your time at the IBEI, engaging in this participation in class, also in the way in which you approach and you engage with other cultures and approaches, and also in the many ways in which you participate in building community beyond classroom, through the running club, through the hiking trips, through the choir, and through many other countless moments of connection and solidarity. These are not only just social events. These are expressions of values that we hope you carry forward. They remind us that leadership is not only about giving speeches or making policies. It's also about showing up for others and building spaces where everyone feels seen and supported. So as you move forward, remember that we need your skills. We need your knowledge. We need your spirit. And I think that with the combination of all these factors, you are going to contribute to make our society a better one. Let me finish thanking all the people that has been behind you through this journey, your families, your friends, your mentors, and of course the extraordinary faculty and staff at the IBEI. None of that will be possible without their support, without their dedication, and their belief in the power of education to transform our societies in a better societies. So on behalf of all of us at the IBEI, congratulations. We are proud of you, we believe in you, and we look forward to see how you transform these societies into a better ones. Congratulations and enjoy this day. And now it's an honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Susan Baker. Professor Susan Baker is a professor emerita at the School of Social Sciences at Cardiff University, and also a former director of the Sustainable Places Research Institute at the University of Cardiff. She is also professor of environmental science appointed by the King of Sweden, and right now also visiting professor at the Political Science Department in the University of Luleå of Technology in Sweden. So thank you very much for being here, Susan, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation to come here today, to come to one of the most beautiful and great cities of the world, to come to this illustrious setting, and to come to IBEI, and to be able to speak to you here today at your graduation ceremony. So I wanted to talk to you today about degrees of responsibility. So good afternoon, graduates, your families and your friends, and my esteemed colleagues. I want to talk to you about the opportunities that come with taking the next step on your life's journey. Today, for all of you and for us, is a celebration. It's an accumulation of effort, of perseverance, and of discovery. But more than that, it is a threshold. You, the graduates here today, stand at the edge of something new, something that is full of possibility. You have all completed a journey that is as intellectual as it is personal. Each one of you have met deadlines, you have passed your exams, you have finished your projects, and you have also learned how to live and grow among others from around the world. And that matters. It matters deeply. You have come here from many places, bringing with you your language, your culture, your different ways of knowing. You arrived here at IBEI as individuals, and somewhere along the line, somehow, you have become a community. You have studied together, you have debated, you have explored, you have got lost. Perhaps you have got lost literally in this big city. But you have also discovered, I hope, not just knowledge, but something much more powerful. I hope that you have discovered perspective. I hope that you have discovered that there is no single truth. There is no universal solution. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to the world's problems. I hope that you have learned that different ways of doing, different ways of thinking, and different ways of being can coexist. And that in that coexistence, new possibilities emerge. Please hold on to that, because the world you are walking into needs it. You are taking the next steps in a world that is breathtakingly beautiful, that is profoundly complex, and yet in many ways a world that is deeply wounded. Climate instability, species loss, social inequality, economic volatility, the rise of right populism and post-truth. These are not abstract headlines. These are the realities that will shape your lifetimes. They are here, and they are here now. And they will shape not only the kind of world that you will inherit, but the kind of world that you will pass on. But here, I want to say something most clearly. You are not powerless. You are not small. You are exactly the kinds of people we need. People who have lived and studied in between cultures, who know how to open their minds, how to listen, how to adapt, how to build bridges between differences. By recognizing and accepting differences, you have equipped yourself with knowledge. Yes, but more than that, you have equipped yourself with empathy, with imagination, with experience that transcends borders. And with that, you carry a responsibility. I don't mean a heavy, moralizing burden. It is not a burden I am throwing at you. You carry a possibility. You all have an opportunity to shape the future, to contribute to a world that is not just more innovative, not just more efficient, but to contribute to a world that is more just, more sustainable, more compassionate. And that work, that contribution, does not only happen in big, dramatic moments. It happens in the everyday. And whatever you go on to do next after today's graduation, these same questions will follow you, as they follow us all. Who do I include? Who or what do I protect? What kind of future am I making possible with this decision, or with that design, or with this policy, or with this way of living? This is a responsibility. But this responsibility is not something that we leave at the door of our office, or only bring out for grand causes or great occasions. It can be woven into our everyday. It can be woven into our work, whether it is in the laboratory, whether it is in the classroom, whether it is in a company, whether it is in a government office, or whether it is in a small community group. Whatever you go on to work in, that responsibility will come with you into those places. And the same goes for our personal lives. Some of us raise children, and we teach them what matters, by what we prioritize, by what we stand up for, by how we treat others, and by how we treat the earth. The values that we hold, the questions we ask at home, the stories we share, these are also acts of leadership. We're often taught to think about leadership as something that requires titles or grand stages or applause. But leadership can be quiet. It can be slow. It can be choosing the harder path because it is the right one to choose. It can mean making space for others or staying grounded when everything else around you is spinning. That is leadership. We're in Catalonia. We're in Barcelona. So this is a good moment to reflect on the insights of the Catalonian economist Juan Martínez Alier. He reminds us that our diverse cultural backgrounds are vital assets in crafting inclusive and effective solutions to today's crises. From him, we learn that more is not always better, that well-being is not measured by consumption, but by connection, by care, by balance. And that our task is not endless growth, but a shared flourishing within the boundaries of this beautiful, finite planet. And that too is leadership. For those of you who are feeling somewhat unsure how to begin, you do not have to change the whole world at once. Start with what is in front of you. Ask good questions. Stay curious. Build with care. And act not out of fear, but out of love for this planet, for one another, for generations that have yet to come. You do not have to do everything, but you can do something. And that something, done well and with heart, can mean more than you can know. As you move forward, I hope you carry with you the richness of your international experience here, the friendships that crossed language barriers, the disagreements that taught you how to see differently, the sense of shared fate that emerges when people from all over the world learn together. And I ask that you let that be your compass. This planet does not need any more heroes. It needs more stewards, more people who see clearly, who care deeply, and who act wisely. And you, every one of you, have the capacity to be that person. So, as we celebrate here together with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, know that this is not an ending. It is an invitation. And I am throwing this invitation out to you to act not just with ambition, but with compassion. Let your intelligence be guided by empathy. Let your progress be anchored in justice. And let your success be measured not by what you achieve, but by what you have helped to sustain. And that, I believe, is one of the most extraordinary privileges of being educated. To see the world not only as it is, but how it could be. To shape not only what the world does, but what the world becomes. The future that lies all ahead of you is not something simply that happens to us. It is something you will help to shape. And as you walk into that future, remember, you carry with you not just a scientific degree, albeit difficult to get from a very prestigious institute, but a responsibility. You carry with you a beautiful opportunity. So speaking to you today about that opportunity that lies before you, I want to say to you all, congratulations, class of 2025. Well done to you all.
And now I give the floor to Marta in Blasford, Ramón y Cajal, assistant professor at the IBEI.
Okay, great. So, dear guests, dear colleagues, families and friends, and most importantly, of course, the class of 2025 for the Master in International Relations and the Mundus MMAPP program in Public Policy. Welcome. I'm honored to be here with you today and to represent the IBEI faculty by saying a few words before you receive your degree. No? So this is, in fact, it's actually quite a special occasion because it's the 20th year that we celebrate the ceremony. No? And where we celebrate basically the achievements of our students at the end of the year. And I'm personally for quite a while already at IBEI. I'm still a member when IBEI was in a much smaller place, actually not that far from here, just a few blocks from here, much more small, cramped. Actually, my first office was an old dovecote that they refurbished into office, and we had such a roof where sometimes we could hear when the seagulls were knocking on the roof of this, and when they finished off a fish, they were knocking on the roof, so it was a very peculiar place to work. No? The graduation ceremonies were also in a smaller place, though we had an AC, so that was better than today. No? In 20 years, much has changed, no? Both for the world and at IBEI, no? And not always for the better, of course. We've seen the financial crisis during these years. We've seen the Arab Spring and the civil wars that came afterwards, the COVID-19 pandemic, and more recently, the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, as well as the horrific terrorist attacks of 7 October 2023 and the devastating violence in Gaza that follows. And such events always leave a mark at an institution that is dedicated to international studies. As professors, we see these events always echoed in your essays, in your master thesis, of course. No, we can see what keeps you busy, what drives your curiosity. No, that has happened to you, that's happening to you, and that has it's very normal. I mean, that has happened also to generations before you. No, you will soon start to write your master thesis, and some folks already started with this. And every year, when we get this list of possible topics or proposed topics, we can really see what keeps students busy that year. No? We had some years ago the Arab Spring, or during the pandemic, issues of global health, of course, and this is nothing bad. No? I mean, at the end, it's This motivates you, this curiosity to understand what's going on in the world. In the end, it's this curiosity that brought you here in the first place. So keep this also in the future. Keep this curiosity to understand what's going on out there. Okay? Because now you will start a new stage in your life. For many of you, probably just feels like a blink of an eye. Just remember when you came here, new city, new country, new language, new institution, everything new. And now you're sitting here and already receiving your degrees. It's all passed just in a blink of an eye, as they say. Okay. Now you have to take the next step, to make the next jump into the unknown. And may perhaps not be the nicest world if you follow the news you are now moving into. You graduate into a world where the old rule-based international order appears to be crumbling, too often replaced just by the logic of raw power. Already 2,500 years ago, the Greek historian Thucydides said famously, so the strong, they do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must. And sometimes if we hear the news today, we think, okay, not much changed since the age of the Athens and Sparta, We see that wars of aggressions, crimes against humanity, destruction of the environment often seem to go unpunished. But at IBEI, we believe there's a role for knowledge, for nuance, and for principled action. Many of you have probably never read this, but IBEI has a mission statement where it says that besides conducting research, a key part of our task is to contribute to a more effective and democratic governance of international affairs through the training of new generations of professionals. So you, basically, And so we hope that we have taught you something during this Mass that can help you to rise to this challenge. Every professor has done this in their own way, of course, setting their own priorities. And there are many things that I could name that hopefully will help you to raise up to this challenge. But I just want to name my, let's say, personal top 3, which I hope help you on the way. So first, it's a theme that already came back in many of the speeches today, seek to understand the other. We live often in an age of simplification. It's often more attractive to watch a very short, snappy video on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, that explains the entire world in 3 minutes, than working yourself through a long academic article. I understand this. But social media very often flatters complexity into sound bites, make things much easier in the end. The world is much more complex than this. Then it can be explained in a brief video clip or in a short message of Twitter, or however they call it nowadays. So a crucial part of understanding this is to understand also the other. During the pandemic some years ago, there were all kind of these reports that basically the classical university model was coming to an end. There was this idea, okay, that people have to go to a different place, it's all a thing of the past, the future will be just sitting in front of your computer. And well, I know that you would have preferred to spend 12 months in front of your computer screen than being in Barcelona, but alas, we still only teach face-to-face, so you had to be here. And the reason for this is we think it's really important to have this personal interaction. As already as mentioned, we have students from over 60 countries, from China, from the United States, from Israel, from the Arab world, from Ukraine, from Russia. And this diversity is one of IBEI's strengths. It helps students to leave their echo chambers, it helps you to engage with nuance and to understand perspectives that are different from your own, are different ways of understanding how the world works, essentially. That doesn't mean that you basically accept everything, okay? But we hope this is something that you take from here, that you understand other perspectives and where the other's coming from when you look at analyzing international affairs and public policies. A second thing is that you should stand up for your principles. Understanding the other does not mean you have basically to surrender and your convictions or say, well, everything matters, nothing matters. You should not fall for some lazy relativism, In times of political extremism, in times of violent conflicts, it's more important to defend what matters. Human rights, freedom, dignity, the rule of law. In many of the calls we've spoken about these issues. We have identified problems, but also discussed possible responses to them. And the tools and knowledge that you received here comes also with some responsibility. The Dutch poet Lucebert once wrote, "Everything of value is defenseless." And we hope that you use this knowledge and skills that you learned here to identify and to defend the valuable. Third, and finally, be effective in what you do. Don't think just about how things look, think about what they really do. No? There's already enough empty virtue signaling and symbolic politics in the world. What we need are people who use their knowledge and skills effectively. Many of you will probably soon hold positions in international organizations, state institutions, NGOs. You will face moments when it feels like there's no real progress in what you're doing. Of course, it's easier to draft sweeping plans to save the world than a few thousand words of term paper. More in the style of, an answer to the Middle East, bring peace to the Middle East in 500 words, no? But in reality, things are often much more complex. And probably it will be very often that you have to sit through meetings, dull hours for hours, you have read hundreds of pages of dense reports, and you think, okay, does it all make sense anyway? Yet, real change, the kind that really improves lives, rarely happens overnight. It's not like a Hollywood movie, something changes from one moment to the other. So don't make perfect the enemy of the good. Pursue bold goals. Okay, you should always shoot for the stars, but don't underestimate the power of very small, consistent gains, because very often that's where the positive change that was mentioned earlier comes from. And the professors have told me that you, during this year, you usually took a very constructive, solution-oriented approach, both in class but also to other methods. So I think, or I hope, that you seem to be on the good path. No? In a few minutes, you will receive your certificates. No? You take some pictures here outside, have a glass of kava or juice, and some of you already know your next step. No? You have it all set out. Others still figuring it out. It's also okay. No? We are confident that whatever path you take, you'll do great things. And you remember, as was already mentioned, you'll always have a home here at IBEI. Just yesterday, perhaps some of you have seen it, we celebrated our Alumni Day. No? So you will also be a part of this. Welcome to this growing community of IBEI graduates here, but all around the world. They're out there waiting to connect with you. So stay in touch, don't be strangers. Come back in 1 year, in 20 years, we'll still be here cheering on you. So on behalf of all the IBEI faculty, class of 2025, we wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Okay, and now I invite Juanita Escobar, Emma O'Keefe, and Josephine Levedak, students of the 22. Okay.
Buona tarda, buenas tardes, good afternoon. First and foremost, I'm humbled and honored to stand before you all today. To our family and friends who have traveled from far and wide to be here with us, I think I speak on behalf of all of my classmates when I say thank you. Your love, sacrifices, and unwavering support have made our success possible and carried us through more than you know. To my fellow students, many of you might be sick and tired of hearing my voice by this point in the year, so I will try my best to keep it brief. Over the past few weeks, I've spent a lot of time reflecting, sifting through memories that I feel incredibly lucky to have in such abundance. Putting into words what this year and this moment has meant is no small feat, so please bear with me as I try to do so without bursting into tears. As scholars of international studies, what we do can sometimes feel quite far removed from reality. After enduring so many papers, presentations, late nights in the library, and then anxiously awaiting our marks back, it can begin to feel a bit impersonal. It's easy to forget the human side of what we do. But I think what IBEI does best is facilitate connections and conversations among us that remind us that at its core, what we study is about people, about their histories, their identities, their aspirations, and their realities. I can say that I've learned just as much from being with you all as I have from any reading or lecture, with all due respect to our wonderful educators, of course. From going to class together, studying together, traveling together, some of us living together, and let's be honest, sharing a drink or several together. We've talked sometimes a bit too much. We've laughed, we've cried, and in doing so, we've created a space where our differences were bridges, not barriers. I know some of us joke about the IBEI bubble we live in, but how lucky are we truly that our bubble contains such a wide and brilliant variety of people, languages, cultures, personalities, and perspectives. To have engaged with the international sphere and benefited from a global education as we have is an immense privilege, one that remains out of reach for most. This kind of multiplicity is not just enriching, it's rare. One of the most pertinent lessons that I personally will take from this year is that meaningful change, real progress, comes from the ground up. We've learned this over and over in our classes, that grassroots organizations, civil society, and everyday interpersonal connections are what push this world to be better and to do better. We know this, right? But you all made me really believe it. You can read every journal article, cite every theorist, and still not come close to the impact of hearing a personal anecdote, an opinion, or a lived experience from someone that you trust and respect. That's what makes learning transformative. That's what makes it real. So as we go forth with our next chapters, whether that's pursuing our hopes and dreams, or searching for work visas, or jobs in a market that is not the kindest, if you're hiring, please feel free to speak to me afterwards at the reception. May we hold on to what makes each of us special. Our unique qualities are not flaws to be smoothed over or hidden. They are what make us valuable. The opportunity that we have had to share those differences and individualities with each other is something that money cannot buy. That's the kind of richness that lasts a lifetime. To Barcelona and to our Catalan peers and mentors, thank you for being the most gracious of hosts for such a pivotal journey. It is not beyond any of us how fortunate we are to call this beautiful and vibrant city home, even if just for a brief moment in time. To my peers, thank you for your wisdom, your kindness, your messiness, your humor, your resilience, and your authenticity. It has been such a pleasure to grow with you and learn from you these past 10 months. I honestly could have never imagined a year as transformative as this one. So wherever life leads us next, I hope you carry with you bits and pieces of this season of life and of each other. I know I will. Thank you and congratulations.
First, I want to thank Emma and Josephine for their encouragement and support, for letting me speaking to you today in Spanish. It is so important to me that my mom that is here and another parents can understand what I say, so I also thank your support in this. Estando muy cerca de culminar esta etapa en nuestras vidas, recuerdo las palabras con las que comencé mi carta de motivación para entrar a la maestría en Relaciones Internacionales en IBEI. No sé si ustedes lo recuerdan, yo lo tengo muy plasmado en mi mente. Inspirada en un filósofo iraní, hablé cómo desde muy pequeña había tenido la fortuna de encontrar en la diferencia un valor fundamental, una forma de construir el mundo en el que soñaba vivir. Esa niña, para algunos como yo, bastantes años después, logra junto a ustedes cumplir un sueño tras horas de esfuerzo y dedicación, pero también de risas y de espacios donde las diferencias, como bien lo mencionó Emma, fueron puentes y no barreras. Hoy, esos niñas, niñes que en algún momento soñaron con ser Mulan o Hércules o algún otro superhéroe, hoy se abren paso para lograr dejar una huella en el mundo. Sin embargo, hoy no solo es un día de celebración, también es uno de reflexión y de llamado a la acción. Todos nosotros, quienes tuvimos tantos sueños y que hoy cumplen una meta, cada quien con un contexto y una historia única, también hacemos parte de una pequeña población con un gran privilegio. No muchos logran llegar donde hoy estamos nosotros, ni siquiera pueden soñarlo. Hoy, mientras celebramos haber culminado con éxito trabajos y exposiciones, más de 50.000 niños han muerto o han sido heridos en la guerra en Gaza. Hoy, mientras nosotros recibimos nuestros diplomas de maestría, a más de 1 millón de niñas se les niega el acceso a la educación primaria en Afganistán. Hoy, mientras nosotros brindamos por un futuro muy prometedor, el homicidio es la principal causa de muerte de niños en Estados Unidos de América. Y hoy, mientras nuestras familias y amigos nos acompañan en la celebración, más de 2 millones de niños han sido víctimas del conflicto armado en mi país, Colombia. Todo privilegio viene acompañado de una gran responsabilidad. Por eso hoy nos invito a cada uno de nosotros a cuestionarnos qué estamos haciendo desde cada una de nuestras realidades por cambiarlas, cómo estamos viviendo desde nuestras posiciones, sean o no sean de poder. ¿Le estás cumpliendo a ese niño, niña, que alguna vez soñó con crecer y ser feliz? Vengo de un país y de una región que por años han sido golpeados por la violencia, pero sé que cada uno de nosotros tiene una misión en su lugar de origen. Por eso nunca olvidemos de dónde venimos y la importancia de retribuir lo aprendido a nuestras raíces. Hoy también es un día para agradecer a los profes. Primero, gracias por permitirme llamarles de esa forma, así algunos bastantes no lo entendieran, porque así se dice en mi país, profe. Con la mayoría esa palabra tuvo un gran valor, pues fueron cercanos y atentos a fomentar el aprendizaje continuo y el pensamiento crítico. Gracias porque su labor es fundamental en una sociedad cada vez más artificial y menos inteligente. Este es también un llamado para ustedes a repensar la educación y el conocimiento. ¿Son hoy los profes que les hubiera gustado tener? Gracias también a IBEI por darnos conocimientos, pero especialmente por llenarnos de preguntas sobre el sistema, el poder, la guerra y las personas. Con estas preguntas, hoy salimos a explorar el mundo. Moltes gràcies, Barcelona. Una vegada más, em vas obrir les portes per convertir-te en la meva IR. Y especialmente gracias por permitirme conocer personas maravillosas con las que reviví aquel sueño de niña de construir con quien es diferente a mí, porque justo ahí está el valor. Moltes gràcies pels meus amics, per tantes riures, aventures, que també van portar a la meva ment i al meu cor aquel primer sentiment d'amistat veritable, desinteresada y eterna. Gracias infinitas a nuestras familias y para todos aquellos que hacen parte de ellas, no importa si son nuestros padres, tíos, primos, amigos o quien sea que nos esté acompañando en este momento. De su mano hemos construido el camino para lograr hacer este sueño realidad. Gracias a mi amor por enseñarme cada día el valor del esfuerzo. Y gracias, mami, por acompañarme hoy. Perdón. Tengo la fortuna de tenerte conmigo y en mi corazón siempre llevaré el amor y el sacrificio que tú y mi papá han hecho y que me han permitido ser quien soy hoy. Finalmente, quiero agradecer a esos niños, a esas niñas, que cada uno de nosotros fuimos en algún momento. Gracias por atreverse a soñar, a construir, a amar. Ojalá sigamos cumpliéndole siempre. Thank you. Gracias, gracias.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Juanita, for your beautiful speeches. As we are here today, reflecting back and looking towards the future, we stand at a crossroad. Our academic chapter may be closing, but the real learning is only just beginning. We've spent these years writing essays, debating in seminars, navigating group projects, challenging each other's views, everything to equip us to understand the world as a complex interplay of different realities. Because that's what education is about, right? Political and social science teaches us to work with different theories and ideologies to understand society better as a whole. We've learned to critically engage with why and how systems function the way they do, how the global order is shaped by its institutions, cultural norms, and histories, and how to navigate or even reshape these deeper structures to achieve change. So now, after completing this master's degree, we, as international relations and public policy students, understand the world better, right? To be honest, I'm not sure. If anything, I leave with more questions than answers about the intricacies of the systems we studied and also about myself. Lo siento. But perhaps this is the deeper meaning of education. To be educated is not simply to know. It is to become aware. Aware of our environment, of the networks we move through, of the power we may one day hold, of the privileges we carry, and of our positionality. It is about questioning what we read, what we hear, and most importantly, what we once believed without hesitation. So education sharpened our knowledge, but also our doubts. So education is also to struggle, to confront uncomfortable truths, to discover the limits of our own thinking, to realize that our blind spots and biases are not easily overcome. This awareness is a strength, but also a challenge, because once we know and once we see, what can we do? Most of us will one day be stepping into roles where we will help shape public decision-making. We'll join the institutions that shape the global order, that set the rules of the game, that decide how power and resources are allocated. We will soon find ourselves working inside the very systems we've been taught to critique. And that's not a betrayal, but it does place a heavy duty on us. The duty is to remember where we come from. Not just the countries we were born in, but where we come from as IBEI graduates. We come from a university that has taught us the value of dialogue, exchange, free expression, and the discipline of critical thinking. It has taught us that change is possible if we take the time to question the structural patterns that shape our human relations, such as the embeddedness of capitalism, colonial and patriarchal legacies, and the continuous environmental exploitation. Challenging systems that seem unchangeable. And let's be honest, we carry a privilege. To have an international education, to move through academic spaces, to stand on the stage today, is not something the majority of people can access. But privilege, if it is to mean anything, must be used with purpose. To me, the purpose of policy is not to serve organizations or institutions for their own sake. It is to serve people, their environments, and their futures. As aspiring policymakers, let us commit to not forget about this. Let's not get lost in abstraction or detached from the human realities we are meant to work for. Let's remember that policymaking is not only about speaking. It is about listening. It is about observing. And let's not abandon the things that make us feel alive as well. Our personal passions, our creativity, because that is where we flourish and where we are most able to touch and inspire others. So what we carry forward from IBEI is not just a degree, it's a mindset, a commitment, a sense of responsibility to engage with the world not only as it is, but as it could be. Así que no olvidemos lo que nos ha traído hasta ese momento. No olvidemos quiénes somos, qué defendemos y por qué empezamos este camino. Y sobre todo, no olvidemos que la política consiste en unirnos, no dividirnos, en comprender, no imponer, en construir, no destruir. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
And now I ask Andrea Bianculi to approach to the table and the president, Jacint Jordana, to come to the table.
Thank you very much to the 3 students, to the 3 graduates. This has been nice, really nice. And now we shall begin the second part of this ceremony. And now the diplomas will be awarded to the graduates, first of all, of the master's degree in international relations. So Andrea Bianculi, academic coordinator of the master's degree in international relations, will address the students and read out their names.
Dear graduating class of 24-25, today is a special day. Today we celebrate all what you have accomplished during your time in the Masters in International Relations. As your coordinator, it has been a privilege to share this time with you, and to learn from you. Also, on behalf of IBEI, I would like to thank you for allowing us to be part of your educational, professional, and personal journey. Thank you very much. So now, let's celebrate properly and get your diplomas. I will be calling you in groups of 5 so that you come to the front, you get your diplomas, you will have a photograph taken, and only then you go back to your seats, right? Thank you. Micaela Abad Malo, Sergi Alcolea de la Gala, Nora Balsi, Nivedita Biswas, Elizabeth Ann Bock Castillo. Nora Bukris, Saya Bulugma, David Cabrera Simón, Ana Cajigal, Laura Cantos. Dulce Castellán Gasca, Isha Chabra, Ali Sin, Leah Clarkson, Matthew Colin Cleary. Emanuela Costa, Robinson Cresó, Sebastián Cuervo Lorenz, Yanis Dahim, Tarek Deli. Leonard Dijkstra, Tidor Dumitrescu, Agostina Durán, Berta Erlitz, Juanita Escobar Martínez. Darcy Farwell, Carlos Fernández Murray, Marco Forlay, John George, Arnau Girald Álvarez. Well done, Darcy. Mercé Guardiola Magallón, Natalia Herrera, Chukba Hilalaglu, Sofía Ismail, Eliska Kotingova. Bennett Krimersfossen, Claudel Labonte, Nina Lembach, Idian Liu, Stephanie Long. Marta López Molina, Aisha Mahama Rodríguez, Nicolina Martinovich, Una Magoff, Joan Montaña González. Emma O'Keefe, Chiara Onast, Isabela Palacio Gómez, Xavier Pearson, Cormac Pearson. Beatriz Piñeiro Moreira, José Francisco Plasencia, Julia Porfirione, María Magdalena Rangelova, Lila Rique. Amalia Wright, Lucas Russell, Anton Schaffer, Celine Shorgan, Delaney Selm. Thomas Sullivan, Malaika Talgatova, Jale Tan, Xishuan Tang, Thibaut Tande. Beatriz Torres, Julian Leonard Van Beer, Anne Velduy, Sijan Wang. Well done, congratulations. Y para terminar, déjenme decirles hasta luego, fin saviat, y les deseo lo mejor en este camino que ya han empezado a construir.
And now is the turn of the diplomas to the graduates of the Erasmus Mundus Masters in Public Policy. And Dr. Leslie Land Daniels, the head of studies of the IBEI, will address the students and read out their names. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Erasmus Mundus Master's Program in Public Policy, Class of 2025, congratulations. I am honored and delighted to be here representing Pablo Pareja and Robert Kissick, your coordinators, who send their very best wishes. You chose to come to IBEI to respond to the needs created by the rapidly changing global environment and new public policy challenges. That's what you read on our website.
And I think you got more than you bargained for. We have had this year a rapidly changing global environment. Some are perennial, such as climate change. Some were foreseen, but accelerating the implications of artificial intelligence. And some have been quite unexpected, such as the rise of tariffs. IBEI has equipped you, and you have seized the opportunity to understand and to intervene in contemporary transnational policy problems. You face a changing and rapidly changing world, but we wish you all the best in helping to create this new world. I now have great pleasure in calling you forward to receive your diplomas. Clara Bloomberg, Rivka Fair, Maria Antonia González Posada, Paul Hiller Bernal, Josephine Levedac. And now, students, parents, I call forward our final group of students. We have 6 students in this final group. Sydney Martin and Julie Poole, Ishan Raj, Leah Schmidt, Eleanor Stroh, and Leo Voigt. Let me wish you all and the students of the Masters of International Relations a huge congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you again as alumni.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, all of you. And now I will give the floor to Dr. Jacint Jordana Casajuana, the President of the IBEI, who will close the graduation ceremony.
Thank you very much, Vice Rector. Dear graduates, this is a very important day for you and also for IBEI. As has been already said, this is our 20th promotion, the 20th cohort of the Masters in International Relations. So we started a master's degree in the year 2004-2005, and well, celebrated the first graduation ceremony. No? Also, this sense is both a great day for you because of your graduation, and for IBEI because it's also sort of a graduation after 20 years. But focusing on your experience and your graduation, I just want to say that it's not merely a conclusion of your studies, but this is a turning point in your life, probably. It's a moment where, as you have already said, some of you, it's a moment in where effort, knowledge, and reflection converge, but something new is starting to come. And let me say that I want to offer you my warmest congratulations for achieving this, and also I know that has been a lot of persistence, intellectual engagement, and also to the ability to adapt in an academic environment, also for most of you in a city that you were not aware of and has also many attractions. So it's very important that you commit to the study during this year and that you achieve the graduation. But let me say just for a couple of minutes some more general reflection about when we started, about the context, the global context. No? When we started IBEI 20 years ago, globalization was rising, was growing. It was an optimistic view to some extent about how development was going, how sustainable development goals were going to introduce some improvement in many societies and many other things. No? Now, 20 years ago, after, the situation is very different, as you know, and you have been discussing over the year, this academic year, in your classes and beyond the classes, and have been also with the teaching staff or also among yourself. We know that it's a moment in which globalization in all areas is having a lot of challenges, no? Not to say insecurity with many wars around the world and particularly around Europe. Also in issues of climate change, we know all the problems that are arising, and also in the world of global governance and the growing fragmentation because of the geopolitics and all the tensions. So it's a really very different, maybe much less optimistic world. But let me say that despite this not very optimistic message, I just want to say that it's also a very good moment for starting a career, in the sense that there are many things to fix, many opportunities to work on improving things and trying to put again the world in a better way. No? And in this sense, I wish you that you have a very good careers. Probably many of you will pursue careers in public service or international organizations, NGOs, even research institutions or diplomacy, or the private sector in different companies. Maybe other of you still are discovering your path. But wherever you go, I think that you should carry with you not only the knowledge you have acquired, but also the questions you have learned to ask. That is a very important thing, is to ask things, to put the right question in the right place. So this is often these questions, more than any fixed answer, that will guide you wisely through complexity in the world that we are now living, and we are going most probably to live in the coming years. Today, you join a global network of IBEI alumni that also in previous cohorts has been also discussing and studying these questions about globalization, security, development. And I think that this is a contribution also to the impact of IBEI alumni continues to grow. No? And in your hands lies the potential to shape futures, yours and others. Use that potential with confidence, humility, and curiosity. This is very important. Congratulations, class of the 2025. We are proud of you. Stay connected, stay thoughtful, and never stop learning. Thank you, i que tingueu molt bon viatge.
Thank you, Professor Jordana. I would like to finish this ceremony with these short words of our motto you have here. Libertas perfundet omnia luce. La llibertat ho omple tot de llum. Freedom will flood all things with light, in an allusion to the freedom that thought and judgment bestow on human beings. Congratulations to all the graduates. I wish you great success in your professional life. L'enhorabona a tots i a totes, graduats, graduades. Us desitjo molt èxit en la vostra vida i en la vostra trajectòria professional. Thank you very much to all the attendees of the ceremony, parents, friends, professors, graduates. It has been a pleasure to be here this afternoon with all of you. The session is over. S'aixeca la sessió. Gràcies.